Welcome to Sports on the Go, episode 4, with our returning reporters Victor Blahovitz from the first video and Jinwoo Moon from the second video. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing well. Excited to be back.
Yo, what's up, guys?
All right, so today we're going to do two big games in our special edition of Sports on the Go. We're going to start with LeBest versus the rest. So I'm going to give you LeBron James, and I'm going to give you another player. You tell me who you'd rather have on your team for the next 5 seasons, taking injuries into consideration. Victor, we'll start with you. LeBron James or Zion Williamson for the next 5 seasons?
Personally, I think I would take LeBron, even though despite the fact that he is getting older and older, and he might not have 5 more great years in his career. However, I don't think I could take the risk of taking Zion and him not performing in the next 4 seasons as well as he is right now.
I like that. I like that description. Jinwoo, how about you? LeBron James or John Morant?
This one's a tough one, but I'll take LeBron. And the reason's quite simple. See, LeBron's 35, and look how he's performing this year. He's averaging MVP numbers, and he's a top 2 candidate for the MVP this year. So I think he still has a lot of gas left in his tank. And I also think that Ja Morant, he's proved himself to be a good rookie this season, but we've also seen cases where a lot of players had good rookie seasons, but they fell off their sophomore year.
Yep.
So I think the uncertainty is driving me to select LeBron James, who's also proved himself many times, such as winning 3 MVPs and also winning a few championships during his career.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would go with LeBron James. Victor, LeBron James or Kevin Durant for the next 5 seasons?
Oh, that's tough. Well, I know you're a huge KD fan, and to be honest, depending on how fit KD can stay, because we all know he's had his injury, which has kept him out for, I think, this whole season. It might be tough to see him depending on how long he takes to recover. However, before his injury, I think he was one of the top 3, if not top 2 players in the NBA. And looking that he's younger than LeBron, I think I would have to choose KD on this one.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you. I think Kevin Durant is basically almost same level as LeBron James. May not have the same impact on a team as well as LeBron, but just talent-wise, Durant's probably top 3 greatest scorers of all time, and he's only 31. And I think he's going to come back just as strong from his injury as he's almost fully recovered and already starting to play basketball. So I think KD is the smart choice in this situation because I think LeBron is going to have a really good next 2 seasons, but then I'm not really sure about the second half of the 5 seasons. Jinwoo, here's another tough one for
George,
you.
before we move on, I want to comment on the LeBron James versus KD.
Yeah.
So I know you guys really like KD, and we've seen what KD is capable of. He's an MVP, and he was like a top 5 NBA player before he got injured. But the injury that he has right now is an Achilles injury, so which is one of the most detrimental injuries, especially to KD, who also has great athleticism. When I mean by athleticism, is mean by his hops, the bunnies.
Yeah.
So we've seen Kobe have an Achilles injury, and he wasn't the same as he was before. And we could all agree on that, right?
Yeah, but I think the main difference between those injuries is you look at Kobe and the age he got the injury. Kobe got the injury 3-4 years later than Durant did. Kobe was a little older, than Durant was. And I think Dominique Wilkins, when he sustained the injury, was also older. So I think to say Durant's going to be 100% after the injury is tough. But I think with time, he's going to be at least 80% of himself, which is still an MVP-type talent in the NBA. But I don't think it's going to hurt him as much as it hurt Kobe because Kobe's age really played a factor. He wasn't as healthy and as fit as KD is now.
I think also the rhythm that he gets when coming back into the NBA will be important. and him managing to stay fit, him managing not to get the injury again, and him managing to, stay on top of his game, I think it would be important for him, knowing that this injury is on such a high importance, and if you might sustain the injury again, it might be your career over. So I think he has to make sure that he knows he's 100% fit or he's ready to be back, so he doesn't sustain the injury again.
Yeah, as Victor said, the Nets have to look back at what the Warriors did to KD, and they have to not make the same mistake as what the Warriors did. The Warriors kind of sped up the process, even though KD wasn't 100% healthy, and we all know what happened in the end. KD got injured again in his first game back, and then KD moved. So I think one of the main factors is also, as Victor said, being more healthy and giving some time to KD would be a good factor to how he plays again in the future.
All right, and then the last one for Jinwoo here, before we move on, is: would you rather have LeBron for the next 5 seasons or Giannis Antetokounmpo? I think it is a simple, and I think there's a fairly easy answer for this one. Wait,
This might be a bit controversial, but I take. Hey, I'm not a avid fan of either of these players. I know what Giannis is capable of. He's a MVP, and he might also get it this year, or it might be LeBron James. But a lot of the media is supporting Giannis right now.
yeah,
But skill-wise, LeBron's a lot more skilled than Giannis. LeBron has way more experience in the clutch,
yep,
in the finals as well. He knows what's going on in the playoffs. We've seen Giannis and the Bucks kind of fall off in the playoffs last year, and their
yep.
squad hasn't changed much. So in the next few years, assuming that full Lakers with AD is healthy with LeBron and LeBron's healthy, I'd take LeBron over Giannis.
All right, all right.
Can
So, sorry.
I add, and can I
Yeah.
disagree with that?
Yeah.
That's a
Well, for me,
controversial one.
yeah, I think I would have to choose Giannis. Especially, I think age will play a huge factor in that. Looking at Giannis, he's only 25, and he's putting up numbers, that are challenging the MVP candidate and challenging LeBron, which is one of the greats in the game.
Yeah.
And not knowing how will LeBron perform in the next few years, knowing that he's getting older and he might, be at more risk of getting injuries or not being on top of his game. I think Giannis, what he's showing right now, is really something that I think he's going to carry on for the next few years. So I think if he's being able to put up the numbers that he did last year or even better, I think he's going to keep on doing that for the next few years. So I think I would have to choose Giannis in this case.
I mean, I think
George, what about you?
Who said LeBron? Victor said Giannis. So I'm just gonna end this and say, first of all, I'm a huge LeBron fan. I think LeBron is the greatest of all time. But if you're talking about the next 5 seasons, I think you have to like what you're seeing from Giannis. LeBron James, I think right now at this very moment, I would choose to start a franchise with. But the problem with that is he is getting older, and I think Giannis is more guarantees in the next 5 seasons. You're gonna know, okay, you're still getting prime Giannis, and he's gonna be healthy. There's not gonna be any surprises with the retirement or anything like that. So I think I would have to go with Giannis because it's just there's more certainty around it. LeBron James is definitely, I think, the better player, but I think in the next couple of seasons, I think Giannis is gonna have to develop, and LeBron's gonna start to struggle. Thank you, Jinwoo, for joining, and thank you, Victor, for returning. I'm sure we'll see Victor again. Not so sure about Jinwoo. See you next time, and thanks for tuning in to Sports on the Go.